Space was silent, but the alien convoy was dying. 3 trade ships moved slowly through the dark. Their engines were damaged. Smoke leaked into space like frozen shadows. Red warning lights filled their bridges. Something had attacked them from the void, fast, unseen, and deadly. Captain Ruthless stood still on the command deck. His hands were calm, but his eyes showed fear. Their weapons were gone. Their shields were failing. Escape was impossible. Everyone on board knew one truth of the galaxy. You never send an SOS near Deathworld space. Humans lived there. They were called Deathworlders for a reason. Their home was violent. Their history was full of war. They survived where others would die. Most species avoided them. Some feared them. Many believed humans were too dangerous to trust. But now there was no choice. Another explosion hit the ship. The hull cracked. Crew members fell. The ship groaned like a living thing in pain. Ruthless looked at the communication officer. "Any friendly signals?" he asked. The answer was silence. Slowly, the officer turned and whispered, "Only one region is close enough. Deathworld space." The bridge went quiet. No one spoke. No one breathed. Ruthless knew the stories. Humans did not rush to help. Humans did not ask questions. When they came with purpose. Still, dying in silence was worse. "Send the SOS," Ruthless said. The signal left the ship, traveling into the dark, into human space. Minutes passed. Nothing happened. Hope faded. Then the console blinked. A message appeared. No image. No greeting. Just words. Signal received. Hold position. That was all. The aliens stared at the screen. They had been heard. Now they could only wait and wonder if help was coming or something far more terrifying. The alien ships drifted in silence. After the human message, no other signal came. No questions. No promises. Just waiting. Every second felt heavy, like time itself was watching them. Captain Ruthless kept his eyes on the sensors. His crew whispered behind him. Fear moved through the ship like cold air. One officer finally spoke. Why would humans answer at all? No one replied. The stories were old, but everyone knew them. Humans came from a death world with crushing gravity and violent storms. Their planet tried to kill them every day, and yet they survived. They learned war early. They learned how to endure pain, loss, and fear. They were not the strongest species. They were not the fastest. They were the most prepared. Another officer said quietly, "Humans do not fight for honor. They fight to remove problems." The words made the bridge colder. Then the sensors changed. Multiple contact detected. The scanner called out, "Large mass, no known design." Ships appeared on the screen. Dark shapes sliding into real space without sound. No bright lights. No loud engines. They moved with control, like predators that did not need to run. The alien crew froze. These were not rescue ships. These were warships. No weapons charged. No warnings were sent. The human fleet simply formed a clean, perfect line between the alien convoy and the direction of the enemy. Captain Ruthless felt something strange. Not relief. Safety. A final message arrived from the human flagship. Again short. Again cold. "We will handle this." Behind the human ships, space began to move. Something was coming. The enemy had returned. But this time, they were not facing helpless traders. They were facing Deathworlders. And the humans were ready. The enemy fleet came out of the dark without fear. Their ships were large, sharp, and loud. Energy weapons glowed as they powered up. They expected easy prey, damaged traders, broken engines, and no protection. They did not expect humans. The human fleet did not move at first. No signals. No warnings. No dramatic threats. They simply waited. Then everything happened at once. Human ships split apart with perfect timing. Small craft moved forward while larger ships stayed back. The enemy fired first. Bright beams cut through space, but they hit nothing. The humans were already gone. Human weapons activated in silence. No flashing lights. No wild shots. Just clean strikes. Enemy sensors went dark. One by one, their weapons shut down. Engines failed. Command ships lost control. The enemy formation broke apart in confusion. The alien crew watched in shock. The humans were not attacking the ships. They were removing the fight. A human strike vessel moved close to the largest enemy ship. One precise shot hit the engine core. The ship stopped. No explosion. No fire. Just silence. Another enemy ship tried to flee. It did not get far. A human drone attached itself to the hull. Seconds later, the engine died. The ship drifted, helpless. The battle was already over. The enemy did not understand what was happening. They had prepared for a long fight. They had prepared for fear, but the humans showed none. In less than 5 minutes, the enemy fleet was disabled, not destroyed. Disabled. Captain Ruthless finally spoke. His voice was quiet. They could have wiped them out. The communication officer nodded. They chose not to. A new human message arrived. Threat neutralized. Short pause. Do not move. The aliens obeyed without question, because now they understood something important. Humans did not fight to win battles. Humans fought to control the outcome. And somewhere in the dark, the humans were already planning the next move. The battle was over, but the humans did not leave. Their ship stayed in position, silent and unmoving. No weapons were aimed at the alien convoy, yet the aliens felt more exposed than before. Human scanning beams passed over every ship. Slow, careful, complete. Captain Ruthless watched the data scroll across his screen. Humans were reading everything: cargo, crew logs, even old navigation paths. They are looking for something, an officer whispered. Ruthless nodded. He already knew. Humans never stopped at the surface. A message arrived from the human flagship. For the first time, it was longer than a single line. Provide full details of the attackers. Origin, purpose, allies. There was no threat in the words. There did not need to be. Ruthless told his crew to comply. They shared everything they had: sensor records, damaged data, half-lost transmissions, even rumors. As the humans listened, a pattern formed. The attackers were not pirates. They were scouts. That truth spread to the bridge like poison. If they are scouts, an officer said, then something bigger is coming. The human response came quickly. Confirmed. Another pause. This threat will be removed. The aliens felt a chill. They had asked for rescue. What they received was attention. Human ships began to move again, not toward the convoy, but away, deeper into space, toward the enemy's path. Ruthless realized something too late. Humans did not protect borders. They erased dangers before borders were needed. A final message came, not just to the convoy, but broadcast-wide. Civilian vessels are advised to avoid this region. That was all. The human fleet jumped to faster-than-light travel and vanished. The aliens were safe, but the galaxy had just changed. Somewhere far away, the enemy would soon learn a terrible lesson. You do not send scouts into human space, and you do not survive when humans decide to finish a problem. The human fleet moved with purpose. They followed the trail left by the enemy scouts. Broken signals, faint engine marks, old trade routes long forgotten. Where others saw empty space, humans saw patterns. They did not rush. They calculated. Deep in human command ships, officers studied maps and data. No loud voices, no anger, just clear decisions. Humans had learned long ago that wars were not won by force alone. They were won by preparation. The enemy home system came into view. It was heavily defended. Large stations, thick weapon lines, confident fleets. The enemy believed they were safe. They were wrong. Human ships arrived outside sensor range. Silent, invisible. Drones moved first, slipping through the fences. Communication relays failed. Power grids went dark. Confusion spread before the first shot was fired. Then the humans struck. Not everywhere, only where it mattered. Shipyards stopped working. Command centers lost control. Fleet leaders vanished from communication. Supply routes were cut without warning. Enemy ships launched too late. Their orders were unclear. Their systems did not respond. Human strikes were fast and exact. No cities were destroyed. No civilians were touched. But the enemy's ability to fight vanished in hours. A final human message was sent to enemy leadership. Hostile capability neutralized. Further aggression will not be tolerated. There was no reply. There did not need to be. The enemy knew the truth. They had not faced an invasion. They had faced correction. Across nearby systems, other species watched in silence. Sensors recorded everything. Stories spread faster than ships. Humans had crossed no borders. Humans had claimed no land. They had simply ended a future war. When the human fleet turned back toward their space, the galaxy understood something new. Humans were not conquerors. They were enforcers of consequence. And when humans answered an SOS, the problem did not return. The galaxy did not forget what happened. News of the human response spread slowly at first, then everywhere. Trade stations whispered about it. Military councils argued over it. Old powers pretended not to be afraid, but they were. The alien convoy that had sent the SOS survived. They repaired their ships and returned home. Everywhere they went, others asked the same question. What happened when humans answered? Captain Ruthless always gave the same reply. They listened, then they acted, then the danger was gone. No one laughed. A new rule began to form, not written in law, but in fear and respect. If you send an SOS near human space, and humans respond, the threat will be removed completely. Not delayed, not pushed back. Removed. Human ships returned to their borders. They did not patrol the galaxy. They did not demand thanks. They did not build statues or monuments. They simply watched. Other species changed their plans. Scouts avoided human systems. Raiders turned away. Empires slowed their expansion. Everyone understood that some lines were not worth crossing. Humans were not the strongest. They were not the most numerous. But they were the most final. On their death world, humans continued to live hard lives. Storms still came. Predators still hunted. Conflict still existed. But that was normal for them. That was where they were forged. And when the galaxy called for help, humans answered the same way they always did, with calm voices, with clear plans, with ruthless efficiency. Somewhere in deep space, another crisis would one day appear. Another signal would be sent. Another choice would be made. And the galaxy would remember one simple truth. When aliens send an SOS and Deathworlders respond, the universe listens.